Hey folks, John Becker here, Union Township trustee and former state representative from Clermont County, bringing to you the April edition of the Becker Report. And if all goes well, this will go out before the end of the month. Today is April the 28th, 2025, as I am recording this video. So I have kind of a lot in it this month. I want to kind of briefly, or kind of quickly, I should say, kind of read through this and let you know what the highlights are. So what I lead with is Ron Hood. He passed away recently. Suddenly, no hint that there was a problem of any kind. Not sure how he died. He was, I believe it was the day before Easter. Actually, today is his funeral. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it up there. But regardless, hey, Ron was such a good friend. He was a mentor. He and I served together in the General Assembly. He would reminisce about some of the old guard, and he would name names, just guys that were old timers in the General Assembly that were legendary. And Ron is one of those legendary guys. He's one of them people will be talking about fondly for decades to come. And yeah, again, this is really a loss. Great conservative man, a solid Christian, left behind 5 children, and his wife died a few years ago of cancer. His oldest child is 18, so all the rest of them are under 18. Very, very tragic loss for this family. Moving along, so I also have an update on DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. They're up to, last time I checked, $160 billion in savings. And I have a link to where you can find that. I did a piece on who is Kilmar Garcia. Well, he'd been in the news a lot lately. I guess before that crazy judge up in Milwaukee wound up in the news. I don't have anything on her in this edition. The crazy judge I'm talking about is the one that let an illegal alien out the back door of the courthouse. He got chased down by the immigration and ICE agents, and then she got arrested. I don't know if she's still in jail or out on bond or what her situation is. But anyway, this guy, he's the, his name again, Kilmar Garcia. He's the illegal alien from El Salvador. And he got deported back to El Salvador where he's a citizen. And he's in prison there, and somehow there was some snafu with some paperwork error, something that had occurred in the process. And anyway, I have a section here of it came out of the Gary Bowers end of day report, so you can look at that. Also, so we have the May 6th election that is coming up, and there's 2 issues to consider. I have information on those issues. One of them is called Issue 2. There is no Issue 1. The General Assembly has done a renumbering process as to eliminate confusion because multiple Issue 1s that can occur in quick succession on election days. So anyway, so it's a ballot issue 2. It has to do with a bond issue, $2.5 billion, I believe, over 10 years. The other issue to consider, if you're in my neck of the woods here in Union Township, Clermont County, is a West Clermont school levy issue. So it's a kind of a combination. It's a combination issue on the ballot where it's both a property tax and an earned income tax. So I have links on all of this for you to look at this. I also have then a usual Union Township update. So what I lead with there is electric aggregation. So the rates are going crazy with aggregation. You might, or with I should say with electric utility rates. You might want to think back to when Obama was president and he promised to shut down coal plants and raise utility rates, and he fulfilled his promise. So yeah, a bunch of coal plants have closed. He weaponized the EPA to do that, and they closed along 4 of them closed. Between Clermont County and Adams County, I think there was 4 coal plants down there that are now gone. Anyway, so I have information on that. Then I did a video called Spending Priorities, and I want to know if I'm wrong or not. So it was at the last trustees meeting. We on a 2-to-1 vote, so I voted no, approved some playground equipment and some other improvements to Veterans Park. It's almost like $1.1 million. And I have people screaming about roads, pretty much every day. They want the roads paved. And, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm thinking that's where the money and the priority should go. Obviously, public safety is going to be first. So that'd be police, fire. And they need the roads to get to where they're going. The cemetery is required by the Ohio Revised Code. So, that obviously needs to be maintained. Certainly for nice parks, it's a matter of how much money do we want to spend on these parks. What is the upper limit? And that 1.1 million was too rich for my blood. And it really comes down to how much of your money do you want me to spend? So get back to me and let me know the answer to that question and watch that video that I have on there. So I'm going to include that video. So there's a link to it in the Becker Report, and I'm going to include that at the end of this video. And I'm also going to include, which I've been doing every month now, is another video called Call Me. That Call Me video is like a minute and a half. This video about spending priorities is, I think it's 4.5 minutes. So you can watch all of that at the end of this video. Then, there's a link on there if you need a pothole filled or anything from Union Township. You can click there. Union Township sponsored event. So on May the 3rd, we have family movie night. It's called The Wild Robot. So I have a link to that if you want to read the review on it. And that's going to be at the Veterans Park beginning at dusk. May the 10th, we have a bike safety event at the Civic Center. May the 13th, there's going to be the next trustees meeting, 6 o'clock. And then on the 17th, there's 2 things going on. The family fishing event at Clermont Park, and also a CPR AED training event from 9 to 1 at the Civic Center. Then we have the farmers market that's coming up at, beginning on June the 6th. We have the concert series that's also going to start in June. June 6th is going to be the Bronson Arroyo Band. June 13th, Hi-Fi Honey. July 18th, Michelle Robinson Band. July 25th, Tom the Torpedoes. August 1st, I can't remember if it's called the Whammies or the Whammies, whoever they are. It's August the 1st. Then I have my section on there about John Becker talks trash in Union Township. I was going to go out this past Saturday, but it had rained, buckets the night before, Friday night. And, when I've picked up trash in the rain, I wind up sloshing, or after it has rained, sloshing through mud puddles. It gets messy, obviously. And picking up wet garbage is very heavy. And I decided to punt, and maybe I'll get out there next week. But that is my intent, to try to get out there pretty much every Saturday. That's where the weather is decent, and and I'm available to do it. Also, I have a section on if you need a job from the Civic Center, just the job openings that are posted. What you can do at the Civic Center, be like the post office. We got the congressman's office. I have a list of those. Union Township welcomes new and growing businesses, so I update that every month as well. So the newest items I have on here, Mount Carmel, I think it's at the old Jumps Saloon on Old State Route 74, a place called Pigskins Bar and Grill. I just recently learned of this. I don't know what, because I drive past this place where I think it's going in. It doesn't look like there's any action going on there, so it's very early in the process with that. And then another business coming in called Deeper Roots and Massage, Yoga and Meditation Center. Not sure what to think about that, but it's going to be on Old 74 across from the Eastgate Mall. Then I include a section on the recent Union Township trustee meeting videos. I have the event calendar, Video Central, and the Becker GOP YouTube channel archives. So until next month, this is John Becker. Have a great day. Bye-bye. I went and looked at the playground equipment today at Veterans Park. I found it to be very sturdy, very good condition. You know, there was a couple of sections maybe could use a coat of paint. The mulch could certainly use some work underneath it, but the playground equipment itself, I stood on it. It's solid. You know, I'm finding nothing wrong with it at all. I think there's like close to zero chance I'm going to support replacing that playground equipment. The only what could twist my arm if we had a grant or some community partnership involved, where the township expense in replacing it is less than 50% of the entire cost. Mr. Chairman, I
Yes.
just really hate to spend other people's money. So the first one on the list is lighting for the nature trail behind the building. I initially, I guess when this was first discussed, didn't have a problem with it, and that in and of itself, I don't have a problem with it. What I have a problem with is it is also connected to walking trail improvements for another $52,000. And the two of those together is related to where are we going with this trail? Is it going to be paved someday, ADA compliant someday? Is it going to connect up to ICOLT's roads someday? You know, I need to know what the plan is. And if that's the plan, you know, how much more money are we talking about? I mean, I like the trail. I think it was a good idea. I've supported it up until tonight. You know, so it sounds like this is getting into a lot more money than I'm willing to spend.
Okay.
So that's why I have an objection to that first one. And as I explained also, it would be the eighth one on that list. So the second one on the list, the ambulance for 214, I understand it's expensive to run a township. So I'm a yes on that. The third one there, the dispatch system, I'm a yes on that. The fourth one, so that's a maybe. And the reason I say maybe, and if we're going to do this collectively, the answer is going to be no. So you get $1.3.5 million for a ladder truck. The truck in and of itself as a purchase, I support. I'm okay with that. As much as I hate spending $1.3 million, but again, it costs a lot of money to run a township. What I'm having concerns about is how is this going to be paid for? If we're going to be borrowing money for a depreciating asset, like a fire truck, I'm voting no. If we're going to pay cash for it, I'm voting yes. So those are my thoughts on that item. Going down to the next one, the outfitting of 4 cruisers, 84.8, I'm fine with that. Fuel usage, 26,000, fine with that, it is what it is. And you get down to Veterans Park, the shade comfort zone, 100,885. And then the last one on this list is the Veterans Park comfort zone concrete improvements, another 63,000. So that's another $163,885 invested in Veterans Park. And this is completely unrelated to what we just talked about, the playground equipment. You know, gentlemen, I hear every day people talking about the roads. And, and people drive the roads every day. They're hitting potholes every day. Our service department is doing a great job keeping up with it all. But it's more than just potholes. I mean, people complain the whole road needs to be resurfaced. They want to know when theirs is going to be next. I look down the list. It's not on the list coming up anytime soon. I have a big problem with spending a lot of money on things that are entertainment related when we have needs. What's the most important things in a township? Police, fire, roads. Well, the police and fire can't get anywhere without the roads. Cemetery, that's something required by the Ohio Revised Code. Parks are not. Hey, I love parks as much as anybody else. I think it's important to have nice parks. Keep them upkeep. It's a matter of priorities. And I just can't prioritize these items over the roads. And that's my problem with this list. And that's why I'm a no vote. If there's anything you need from your local government, reach out to me, call me. I'll give my home phone number. So it's a landline, don't text it, 513-753-6440. Or email me, it's John, John, at BeckerGOP.com.
Can we call any time of the night?
24/7, yes, 24/7.
Okay.
If I don't answer the
See what Mrs.
phone,
Becker thinks of that.
there's only one phone that rings in the house and nobody can hear it upstairs, so that works. And so, when people contact me, or on social media is where I commonly get people contacting me that, have this problem or that problem. What do I do with that information? What do I do with that request? I turn it over to Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright is the rock star here. He's got the contacts, whether it's something we can do in-house, a pothole, for example, if it's something on a county road, he knows the people down at the county. He makes the phone calls, or he works with Mr. Taylor, or any of the staff up here to make the phone calls, whether it's at the county or with ODOT. And he's the guy who makes things happen here. I'm just kind of a conduit. And I encourage you to reach out to me. So I'm the least busy of the three of us. I'm mostly retired. I'm going to get a little bit busy with tax season coming up. I do tax returns. But, I don't have a young family at home. I don't have a full-time job. I do this job full-time. So reach out to me with whatever you need. Reach out to anybody you want. I'm just encouraging you to reach out to me. But all of us are available and accessible.